Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Shonen and Chill, hosted by Zenrotto and Asaratha.
I love Weekly Shonen Jump.
I love one thing in it. Uh,
There was I'm under oath now. I love Weekly Shonen Jump. Everything's great. There's definitely no red dot right above my head, slowly coming down.
the, the little red dot through your window, landing
I
right between your
John,
eyes.
if we're being real, I think John Shonen Jump might be a genius as well. He might be the best CEO to ever CEO in the history of CEOs.
What a legend. Um, oh God. Okay, so we'll talk news first. We'll talk bad. Well, I don't know if this is bad news. I don't care about it. It's probably bad news to like 4 people. Shadow Eliminators canceled. That's gone. Um, sorry to
Nobody
the
would have noticed.
Yeah, I'm sorry to the one, I'm sorry to like the 6 fans that are dealing with it, and two, I'm sorry to everybody else that just found out right now listening to this because they had no idea otherwise.
uh,
I
there
fine.
were there were like one or two elements of Shadow Eliminators that I liked, and other than that, I'm never gonna think about it again.
Yeah, I'll never pick up another chapter of it. I don't want to be
True,
mean about
nobody
it.
will.
Like I'm not celebrating that it's dead, but I certainly don't care that it's gone.
Yeah.
Um,
It's one of those manga that you could tell from chapter 1 it's over.
yeah, yeah, definitely no shot when you picked up chapter one. Two on Ice also gone as of last week.
We are
Um,
definitely more sad about this one. At least I am.
that was that one. Two on Ice was better than Shadow Eliminators for sure. 28 chapters honestly was more than I thought it was gonna get because again, not
Yeah,
because it was bad. Just I say this every time because I feel like I'm always sound like I'm shitting on it and I'm not. But like
it
it,
was doomed from the
it
start.
was doomed. Yeah, no one in a shonen magazine wants to read about figure skating. Like
See, Shadow Eliminators is when you pick up, you're like, oh yeah, it's dead. And then Two on Ice is when you pick up, you're like, oh, that's nice. It's a shame it's dead. Like,
yeah, yeah. Shadow Eliminators
yeah.
you pick up and you're like, wow, this is the most generic shit on earth. This is dead. Two on Ice you pick up and you're like, wow, this is out there and kind of unique and interesting with a novel subject matter.
Yeah.
That means it's dead. Like, and it never had a chance. I have seen some people say this feels like celebratory in death a little bit. I don't mean for it to be. We'll call it a silver lining. I've seen some people say that means that Kagurabachi is probably safe for the foreseeable future because they canceled in
I
release order.
it's definitely safe. Also, Kagurabachi had its icon or whatever trademarked.
Did it? Banger.
Yes, along with Kill Blue and Nue's Exorcist, so we know it's staying. I mean, we
Okay,
already
so
knew.
then
I think it was safe to say that those other two were staying anyway. But
oh yeah, 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 for sure. I think it was safe to say Kagurabachi was fine prior to Two on
when
Ice cancellation.
Volume One, when Volume One sold 50,000, I knew it was fine.
Yeah, when Volume One went crazy and they had to reprint it like a bunch of times and
Yeah,
stuff, and Volume
that's a
Two
good
just
segue
came
into our
out.
next one.
Yeah, Volume Two just came out. It's at 200 copies. 200, not 200, 200,000 copies.
200,
200
holy!
sales. Uh,
Oh, whew.
no,
MHA, dude, we're coming for you.
it's at 200K in circulation. Second volume just coming out. Not bad, not bad.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Obviously not the best, but it's very good.
Yeah, for volume two of a series that doesn't have an anime or anything like that, it's only on like 30 chapters in. Um, very, very good.
Um, I'm imagining everyone has accepted that Kagurabachi is staying. Anyone that has not accepted it is deluded.
I still see people blame Kagurabachi for other things dying because they're like,
So true.
this died for a meme. This died to save a stupid meme. That's so fucked up. And I'm like, dog, shut up. Like, shut your fucking mouth for 2 seconds, please. Um,
Kagurabachi is soon going to be the only thing I am excited to read
yep. hmm Absolutely.
because I feel like in the foreseeable future, Undead Unluck is done. Sakamoto still probably got some dog in it. Segue, Yozakura Fam is ending.
Yes. Not a cancellation or anything, obviously.
Yeah,
But we got the confirmation it's moving into its final arc. So
I definitely
uh,
have some things to say about that.
it looks like it's going to what the thing they're doing right now, where they're like fighting him. He's like attacking the school. Um, is going to be the end. I also have some things to say about it,
And
but
then
we'll
obviously,
talk about that in the
I
lightning
I
round, I guess.
I think MHA is done in 12 chapters, give or take.
MHA's got to be close because MHA is doing that thing now that manga always does, where they're out of shit to resolve, and so they're just creating new fucking problems to deal with. Like, like it could have ended any time now, right?
I
Like
think
they were in the
so.
soul world, and that could have been the end. And now All for One's back, and he's got like a weird mecha arms and what I like.
If we're including the leaks that came out yesterday, next chapter, as in after this Golden Week break, that's the one that ends this current volume. I think we have one volume left, and I think it's over.
I could see that. I think that's very reasonable. I don't think
JJK
JJK is
could
too
end
much more
tomorrow.
than that. I don't
JJK
think.
could end tomorrow. Like I don't even know. Like
I think that the only thing JJK has left to deal with is the merger and getting Megami
yeah,
out, and either of those things could happen at any point. I do think it stays longer than MHA. I think MHA has run its course. I can't imagine there's anything left to do other than wrap this up now.
depends on how many
Um,
breaks Hori takes. I think
well, okay, fair. Um, but I think JJK has 20 plus left.
that's fair.
Um,
Allegedly, Oda wants to end One Piece, but he's also wanted to end One Piece for like seven
Oda has
centuries.
wanted to end One Piece since 2004. Like it, dude, it's not happening.
One Piece has persevered through the fucking Black Plague and COVID. It's seen two plagues, so like he's got to pick a
King
time to end
George
this.
the Eighth died reading One Piece. Like it's, dude, it
And it was
doesn't.
still he was still watching Wano too, and like it was
Yeah,
the only thing. One of the only things I know about One Piece is I'm pretty sure people have been talking about the Wano arc in the anime since like I first got back into anime in like 2020. Like holy fuck, dude!
yeah,
I
no,
think it's finally over
it's
now, but like
crazy.
Jesus
Yeah,
Christ,
Wano did. I remember the celebrations when Wano ended. People were like,
it
"Oh my
was
God,
insane.
it's like being stuck in frozen time." Like,
I was 22 when they were talking about Wano, and I was 25 and they were still talking about Wano, dude. It was nuts. So I don't know what Shonen Jump's gonna do. Like they have Kagurabachi, they're gonna have Sakamoto days. What then? Oh, I guess sorry, we have New Wave's Exorcist. Yippee!
yeah, I mean, people are saying I haven't actually. I've been. I didn't want to read the whole last pilot, so I have not really done more than just skim through it. But people are saying that the new thing by the Tokyo guy, Astro Royale,
Astro
that's
Royale.
pretty good. Um,
Do I have to read this?
we probably should.
Yes, dear. Oh, it just lost Ruri Dragon too. Ruri Dragon just went to Jump Plus, so
Yep.
I feel like all of the good stuff is going to Jump Plus, and we should just get rid of the magazine and go to Jump Plus. It's never going to happen, but damn, it would be nice.
Yeah, it's weird, right? That like they keep there must be profit incentive, right,
Yeah.
for doing it. Um,
I have to imagine that the profit margin is getting slimmer and slimmer by the day, though.
it would have to, right? Because there's so much more stuff on Jump Plus now.
And
Um,
then the only things that people are reading the magazine for are going to end soon. Like, obviously, JJK and One Piece are the two main. So, like, as long as One Piece exists, I think if One Piece ends within our lifetime, I think that might be spelling the death of the magazine.
I could see it. It's it would honestly be kind of weird to not have the magazine, I guess. But then again, does anyone outside of Japan even get the book anymore?
Some people
I
just
used to
buy
read the
them
physical
because
book
of
like
like
ages ago, like 20 years ago.
some some people still buy the physicals just to like have the covers when they do the color page or the cover pages.
I mean, that's yeah, that's a good reason. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Um, but I don't know. I could definitely see. I think the magazine needs to die. I'll say that.
It needs to. It's basically killing people.
Yeah,
Like
like it's crazy. The amount of people who like will never recover from the physical
yeah.
conditions of that work is astonishing. Um,
I mean, it almost fumbled like its next big hit, Ruri Dragon, because like the dude almost just like he started working on the manga and he was like, "Damn, I'm gonna die," and then he just stopped.
yeah, well, I don't wonder what happened to him. 'Cause didn't he get like
I don't-
sick, like ill
we don't
sick?
really know.
Yeah, I guess we don't know. They just said it was his he was unwell.
Yeah, but like, wow, the writing's on the wall when you're desperately searching for a new hit, you finally get one, and then like he almost fucking dies. Like, come on. Luckily, Kagurabachi author's still hanging in there. We're getting our first Kagurabachi break next week. Can you handle that?
Absolutely not. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna cryogenically freeze myself until the next time we record one of these.
You're gonna wake up on a Sunday with no Kagurabachi chapter,
No
man.
peak.
I'm glad he seems to be doing alright though. No art degradation. He's not dying yet. I guess good for him.
Yeah, yeah. Good for him. Um, I feel like we had something else that I've already forgotten the list that we
Kaiju
talked
number
about.
8.
Kaiju 8, yeah, Kaiju number 8's anime is out. As far as I
It
can
was
see,
okay.
people hate it pretty hard. Um,
I just
apparently it's
like Kaiju
very
number
off
8
model
the
and
main
just
thing.
weird looking.
The character designs are pretty bad. They are. I never really liked the character art in Kaiju number 8, but when they translated it to anime and made it even more simplistic, yeah, it doesn't look very good at all.
Yeah. I've seen a few. They're just stills, so I try not to judge anime based on stills. Um, but the stills I have seen look pretty bad. So,
Yeah.
is what it is, I
I watched
suppose.
episode I watched episode 1 and it was mediocre.
Was it? Okay.
No.
Um, when
Yosafam
is
anime.
Yosefam? Yeah, when is that happening?
We're 4 episodes in almost.
Really? As you can
Yeah.
see, I don't pay any attention to anime at all. Uh,
It's really good. Kaiju 8 anime and then the
so
Yosafam anime. That's
complete
40 minutes
opposite ends
harass.
of the. Well, that's good. I'm glad because apparently I know like Undead Unluck was iffy as well. I don't know if it still is.
Yeah.
Um, but it's nice to hear that
The
Yosefam is popping
the
off.
the Yosafam anime is taking a unique approach where it's definitely not doing a one-to-one adaptation. It's doing a lot of moving around of events to make the beginning of the manga more eventful. I think it was considered a restructuring of the manga, is what
Okay.
the anime is.
I don't think that's a bad thing necessarily, because the beginning of Yosefam is kind of spinning its
I
wheels.
I think it's working pretty well. The anime is pretty good. It's working out pretty well, I think.
Okay, I like that. Yeah. Nothing wrong with anime changing stuff to improve it, in my opinion.
Yeah. Also, the anime is pretty. Characters look good. Everything is translated pretty well. Kyoichiro sucks still, but what are you gonna do?
Well, what can you do about that, right? That's
Having
just,
having having to have him, see him move and talk on screen, that's tough. But
oh
we
yeah, I
move.
guess it's worse now that you can't like just turn the page.
I am unfortunately forced to interact with him with my mind.
You have to see and hear him now
He
at a speed
unfortunately
in which
delivers
you have no
stimuli.
control over.
He delivers stimuli to my brain against my will. At
Colors
least though,
flash into your irises that form
uh,
his body.
on the bright side is when he gets to be raw, he'll be pretty fucking raw in the anime, probably.
Yeah, probably. All right, well then I guess that's the news segment, so we can pop into stuff proper here. What is your top three?
Number 3, Ruri Dragon. Number 2, Undead Unluck. Number 1, Kagurabachi.
Okay, I have number three, Green Greens.
Holy
I know. Number two, Undead Unluck. Number one, Kagurabachi.
man, you always gotta make sure you don't fit it with my list, bro. It's always number 3 that's different too.
I just happen to really like number three this week. I don't know why I was because I don't really give a shit about Green, and I still don't. Let me be very clear. I still don't give a shit about it. But it was one of the only chapters that made me feel something this week. So I was like, all right, you know what? Okay.
Yeah, this week, the last couple of weeks were good. This week was not super exciting,
It
at
was
least in my
okay.
opinion.
It was okay. Sakamoto had a really hype ending, but that was like it. Um, I mean, I guess we'll talk about it in the
Yeah.
lightning round. We don't need to go through it all right now.
I guess we'll
Uh,
get through the 2 terrorists of Weekly Shonen Jump.
we'll start with Kohei Horikoshi, and we'll talk about My Hero Academia first. Boy,
Man,
this series exists, don't it?
I think these are 2 of the worst chapters I've ever read. Full stop. Not just of MHA, but like of anything ever. I want there to be a proper timeline of events, okay? Leaks came out for chapter 419. I woke up, it's because somebody added me in them. I saw them and I was like, this is fake. This is so terrible, this has to be fake. Like, this is fan fiction. And because, like, they weren't, some pictures taken of a book in, like, an alleyway, they were proper digital scans. So I was like, this
Uh-huh.
is fake. Somebody
Somebody
drew
edited
this.
this. Yeah, if only.
And then as time went on, If only you knew how bad things really could be in life. That was the motto of that night. It was very real and it was very terrible. Um,
Yeah,
wow, man, where do I even start? First of all, they botched the poll. Apparently, they grossly miscounted the poll.
that's funny. That feels like a pretty easy
Uh,
job.
and yeah, you want to know how they found out? Because there's a circle of people on Twitter that bought hundreds of votes for AFO, and they noticed that AFO only got 8 votes in the final poll.
So wait, did they botch it or did they just not count the illegal votes?
No, the MHA Twitter was like, yeah, we botched it. We're doing a
That's
recount.
so funny.
So
Also,
hundreds of
dude,
votes were lost.
fucking freaks, right? Like, why do you need to what are you buying votes in a shitty poll for your stupid comic book for?
That's what they do for Bakugo, man.
Right, but
Like
like,
the poll is so
but how
fraudulent.
could you be that invested, right? Like, how could any human be that invested in essentially cheating in a poll, right? Like, who gives a fuck about that?
See, a lot of people in my Discord knew or had a feeling that something was wrong. One, because Dobby placed the poll top 4, and villains never place like above 10. And also Shoji made it.
Why can't I not
So
remember who Shoji is?
racism guy.
Oh, oh, we've set the poll back 30 years. Is that what you're telling me?
we yeah. So immediately people were like, something's not right about this. So it's also another reason why people thought it was fake, is because Shoji and Dobby made it.
That's
God, where do I even
funny,
start?
weird, funny.
So first of all, according to All for One, which he could be an unreliable narrator, it's possible. Deku transferring the quirks to deal damage, which first already doesn't make sense, right? But whatever. Transferring those quirks to deal damage also destroyed them. So like the vestiges are dead, allegedly. That feels insane to me. Um, they're all just gone. Not only did most of them not get to be characters, we got to form no relationships with them. Kudo just sort of existed, and now he's dead. Yoichi just died. Nana is gone. I guess she had some sort of conclusion. Didn't really feel that good, but whatever. So they're gone, and that means that by extension, Deku is quirkless. He has lost one for all.
Right, because he put all of them
Yeah,
forcibly into
there was a lot of
Shigaraki.
speculation about, oh, he still has stockpile, but now we know for sure he has nothing. He's quirkless. So that leaves us. This is page fucking 1, by the way. This gives us 2 options, right? One is that the ending is Deku quirkless, and I think we all understand why that sucks, right? The prospect of this kid who lived a quirkless life finally getting to achieve his dream and then having to give it up, and now having to flip burgers while Bakugo, the guy who abused him for his entire life,
The
gets to
guy who
go be a
told him to
hero.
jump off a roof.
Yeah, I think we all understand why this is terrible. The second option is Horikoshi, and I think this is the more likely one. Horikoshi is going to bend over backwards and like break the power system even more to just give him back one for all.
Yeah, probably. I mean, didn't that already happen in one of the movies? Didn't he like give it away and then
Yeah,
it like snapped back into his body somehow?
yeah, because they wanted to go back. So
Uh,
Horikoshi's
ugh.
School of Writing, I expect them. The vestiges will be like, we were got destroyed, but we had hope, so we came back.
Or it'll be like, oh my God, there's still a trace of it in you,
Yeah.
and or I don't even know why we're talking about what it's the fucking rewind girl is in this chapter. So like, what could she just rewind his body back to when he had it?
I don't think so. I mean, we can get to the rewind. I can talk about that later. So if we're going in chronological order here, page 2. That's right. We're finally on page 2. Um, All for One is telling Shigaraki that he never made a decision on his own, which All for One's always told him that. That's whatever. It's false, but and then we finally get the follow up to All for One knowing Shigaraki's dead. Oh my god, this
Yeah,
is
that
so.
shit. I don't care who you are. If you think this All for One Shigaraki backstory is good writing, I will never take you seriously as a human being again. And I hate to use the
So
phrase bad writing because that's such a loaded phrase, right? Like you could mean anything, right? Um, there has never been a funnier like train of thought than saying, "Oh yeah, I convinced your dad to conceive you, birth you, and then I convinced him to beat you afterward." There has never been a funnier sequence of, and it's supposed to be taken seriously. Like this is a really cool villain reveal, right? Like it's not supposed to
yeah,
sound like a thing from the movie Airplane. It's supposed to be real. And I can't imagine reading, and I know there are definitely people out there who are like, "Oh my God, this is such a master class villain,
I know.
truly a
Yes, they
deep
are.
genius." I'm sure there are. You're terrible people. Um, Looking at
Damn.
this and seeing this dude say, "Oh yeah, um, I was the reason that you were conceived." Like, what the fuck do you mean
So
that
like,
you convinced a man to have a baby just to beat it so that you could
first
have
of
a
all,
new vessel?
first of the point apparently was that Shigaraki's sister was already too old. She was like 2.
No, no,
Why?
no,
Why
you
is
don't
it too
understand.
old?
You don't understand. They have to be abused out the womb or it doesn't count.
Dude, you could have just went to fucking Endeavor's house then. I don't understand. Anyway, second, Endeavor sat in the cuck chair in the hotel room and was like, "Did you know that if you utilize the legs up to the wall yoga pose, it can increase the chances of conception?" Like, what? What is this? Why is this happening? He was sitting there, like, "Did you know, Kotaro? If you do missionary, there's a higher chance of like, what is this? This is someone's goat."
This is like, this doesn't even qualify as Eisen at home. This is like, I don't even know what to, because I understand that Eisen gets this way sometimes, where he's like, "Oh, I'm behind everything," but like, not Eisen did not convince a man to have a baby so that he could beat on it, so that he could give him half of a better power.
Like, I'm not even done with like the 6th page, and I'm not even like a quarter. Like this page 6 of chapter 419 might be the worst page in human history.
It's so funny though. Like, how am I supposed to take this seriously, dude?
I Can you imagine being like Horikoshi's like assistant or something and like doing the lines on the page or whatever, and he hands you this, you're just like, dude, what the fuck are you talking about? You just turn to him like, dude, are you good?
Are you okay?
Why was Horikoshi? Why was AFO in the cuck chair? It's because he's a mastermind, dude. He's really smart. He was he was given a play by play. Like,
Dude, who I can't fucking fathom that, and I know, and it's so upsetting because I know there are people who are like, this is we're gonna get comments right now that on this video that are like, you guys are haters, that's genius. And I don't know what to do with that information because I know someone's gonna say that to me and I don't know how to react. Genuinely don't know how to react.
I think ultimately My Hero Academia is never was going to be the series I wanted it to be. And nothing exemplifies this better than whatever the fuck is happening on page 6 of chapter 419.
Is there a worse villain in shonen history than All for One?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think he's just flat out terrible.
Ignoring like a canceled series, right? Like ignoring a series where the villain didn't even get a chance to do anything. Um, like in a series that was allowed to conclude, is there a worse villain than this? I can't think of one. I tried for a while too. I could not think of one. I know some
AFO
people say
is
like
awful.
Kaguya, but like no.
Bro, never mind, I'll get to it later. Oh my god. Okay, anyway. AFO then proceeded to take Shigaraki's quirk. So Shigaraki was never quirkless. He was effectively quirkless, but he wasn't actually
Yeah, like what
quirkless.
he took it and then gave him a different one, which them both potentially being quirkless was like also one of the only links that he had with Deku. Now he just has none of them.
He encouraged his father's strict ways, which, oh brother, he can't like Shigaraki can't have anything. He couldn't
Yeah,
even be
like
abused by his dad. Like,
dude can't even own his own trauma. He can't have it.
what the fuck? And it gets even worse. Like, I have to go to the next panel too. We have the panel of the truck almost hitting his friends and Tenko saves him. And then we have the next panel of AFO telling them to do that because Shigaraki's heroic ambition as a kid isn't even his own. It was instilled in him by All For One. He has nothing.
It's just so strange too because I always thought Shigaraki's story was pretty interesting, right? Like
Yeah.
this kid wants to do good, wants to make a difference, abuse shitty family situation, shitty life, just completely gets, left behind by all these people, the product of a broken society. And it kind of cheapens even the societal bits too, because it's like, oh, it's not that like everyone abandoned this guy, it's that he was marked from preconception by Quirk Satan to
I
be his
always
vessel.
I my limit to AFO's involvement, I was fine with him finding him under the bridge because obviously he was going to be watching the house because Nana is a dumb fuck and didn't change her last name. Clearly, that's fine. But and I think there could have been a cool reason for him knowing his father. Like I think I mentioned last episode, him talking to his dad so that he could take his quirk rather than give him one. That could have been interesting. And I mean, we kind of got that, but then the rest happened, unfortunately. Although my version was still better because Kotaro talked to AFO knowingly asking to take his quirk, but AFO just took his quirk without Kotaro knowing, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, he can't even have. He took his quirk. It was like, Kotaro, beat your kid into fucking smithereens. And then he went to his friends and were like, you guys should walk in front of a truck. And they were like, okay. 40-year-old man walks up to you, walk in front of a truck. The kids are like, yeah, sure.
Hey kid, go look at that. Go look at that truck. It's very important that you almost get hit by that truck.
Oh, you children, look at how cool this truck is. And they go look at it, and AFO like pushes him into the street and then like fucking teleports away.
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
And then he gave
I
him
love the
decay.
panel where he's like, "I encouraged your father's strict ways," because it just looks like they're like at the bar, and he's like, "Hey, you should beat the fuck out of your son.
He's like, your son's been acting up, dude. Have you ever thought about giving him a fucking open palm slap?
Your son. I saw your son the other day save a couple kids from getting hit by a truck. Have you ever considered beating the heroism out of him?"
Look, man. I know I was there when you fucked your wife and your wife gave birth to your kid. I was thinking though, like you should fucking, oh man.
Also, like, who is this close with some random old neighbor, right? That they're like, oh, you're right, I should conceive a child. Oh, you're right, I should beat the shit out of my child. Thank you, random ass old neighbor.
You know, Kotaro, I saw Tenko playing in the garden the other day, and he said he was All Might. You should hit him really hard. Like you should fucking knock him out. That guy fucking sucks.
Dude, this is just so stupid.
And then also everyone's worst nightmare, he gave him decay, which I have a question for, by the way.
Okay.
So every time we've seen AFO use AFO, it's instantaneous. How come he gave Tenko decay, days pass, and then decay manifests? Why does that happen? that was my biggest hangup with the theory, and that's why I always thought it was impossible. Is because nothing explains the time delay between giving him the quirk and then him developing it.
I'm sure there's some bullshit answer of like, oh, because it was modified or whatever. But the real answer is that he just didn't think about it and won't mention or deal with it at all.
Like if you go back to Shigaraki's backstory chapters in MVA, Shigaraki gets returned by the guy in the suit, and then he changes clothes. So like at least a day has passed. So why did it take? Why did it? Silly Tenko, you didn't notice that I put the delayed quirk activation quirk inside of you that only works on 5-year-olds. I knew I would need it for this day.
I held on to this for that. Yeah, that's why you needed to be conceived because I needed more time.
Silly Tenko, this quirk only works if you are a Leo and you were born when Mercury was in retrograde or some shit. I just don't. This sucks. This is so terrible. We're not even done yet. We're not even on page 7. So he got the K. Also, the K is overhaul, but cut in half.
Yeah, yeah, it
How
sure
does
is.
that work?
Uh, it sure is. Hey, why didn't he just keep Overhaul for himself, right? Like, seems pretty good.
Horikoshi, so I think I talked on this podcast about how my biggest impact in the MHA community will be the overhaul thing. Hori finally decided to answer me. AFO did take overhaul like 20 years ago. He just cut it in half. He just made it worse and then also never used it for some reason.
I just, I, why would you not use it, right? If only he had like the most powerful reconstructive quirk in existence, uh, to fix his stupid fucking destroyed face, right? Like, man, that would be cool.
It's
Hey,
also
wouldn't it
just
be cool
broken.
if when All Might was ripping your guts out of your chest, you could just touch him and burst him into a bunch of tiny particles immediately? Like, what do you mean?
It's literally broken. And people hyperfixate on, oh well, overhaul is hard to use. First of all, that's never been said. That's just a headcanon. Um, they think that you need to understand the molecular structure of anything. What if you can just imagine it and it works? Like, like it's never been said you have to have a deep understanding of it.
Also,
Second of all,
I'm sorry, even if that was true, because I know that people like to fixate on the thing where All for One said he doesn't want Best Genius quirk because it's difficult to use.
that was
Um,
for Tomura.
right, because he didn't want, because
But
he, right. But also, I refuse to think that that's just a blanket rule. Like, what if you
yeah,
like New Order's probably pretty hard to use,
he
right?
wanted
He
that.
still wanted that.
Fucking New Order read like a JJK power and he still wanted
Yeah,
it.
dude, New Order read like a JoJo stand, and he was like, "I want that though." There are some quirks that are so powerful that you need to have an excuse that's better than some flimsy bullshit as to why he didn't want to
It's
keep it.
really, it's really hard. This power would allow me to win every encounter for the rest of my life, but it's really hard,
I
guys.
don't want to be God because I don't want to study on how to be God, so I'm just gonna not do it. I'm gonna just make a really big fist and hit All Might with it.
I don't understand. I
I am
don't understand.
simultaneously smart enough to control the entire world via a criminal underground, but also too stupid to do anything other than make giant fists and punch.
I just I not only that, you know what I just realized? This is a fresh off the dome realization. Using over like you have Dr. Garaki who's doing all kinds of crazy science. You know how useful Overhaul would be? Overhaul was able to turn a quirk into a rewind bullet with his quirk. You could have had that. You could have had that fucking access to that kind of technology, dude. I This is the worst thing ever. I he couldn't have just given him Decay. Decay had to be Overhaul. I don't understand why you make this decision.
Yeah, it's weird because, you could have just said that decay was a thing on its own, right? Like it was just one that you had. Because no one has
Yeah.
ever been like, well, where the fuck did he get hyper regen, right? Like nobody gives a shit. He's just like, yeah, I just have them. I just have a shitload of things. And everyone's like, okay, fine. Does he think that making it part of Overhaul makes it like cooler, like it's another level of geniusness of All for One for doing that? What does that add?
There's a couple of theories that I've seen that overall, not overhaul, AFO used because you know how he split overhaul in two into the destruction and then the
Hmm.
the fucking
To fix it.
reverse whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people theorize that he used the fix it part to make regen, which would be really funny because that means that he had regen the entire time and he never used it.
Well, no, that couldn't be right because didn't he say that he didn't get regen until after All Might beat the shit out of him?
That's yeah. So I don't think that's the
Because
correct theory.
he said regen wasn't able to heal him after the shit beating that he took.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Um,
It
so
it took
if
them too
that
long
were
to
the
get regen.
case, then that's the shittiest work ever because
If
Overhaul could
that's the
absolutely heal
case,
that damage.
if that's the case, that would be the biggest and also funniest case of Hori for gore ever.
Yeah, I the theory that I've seen is that somehow Shigaraki's going to get the other half of it, and that's how he's going to become a good guy. Is he's going to lose the ability to use decay, but he's going to gain the ability to use
See,
like create.
that was a chapter that was a theory that existed for one chapter. 420 killed that, and we'll definitely get to that.
Well, I don't think it makes sense anyway because like
No, it's bad. It's
yeah,
I've
because
never
it's not like he was given the full thing with half of it turned off, like he was given half of the
yeah.
power. He doesn't have the other half in him.
That's like if Shigaraki unlocking Overhaul and then healing Deku would have been like Black Clover has been made fun of for far less.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's not like the way Deku got healed was better. It was still really fucking bad.
All right, I think we're finally done with pages 6 and 7.
Should are we continuing 419 or should we go into 420?
No, we're going into 419. So Shigaraki, quote unquote, dies. I doubt he's dead. That would be. I think that's too bad for even Hori personally. And like you have his voice in the background, and then All for One tries to silence him. So I think he's still in there. Um, what I don't understand is All for One says that decay is gone. So there's a couple of things about this, right? One is that AFO just knows what quirks are in him, right? So like he can't be wrong about that. But also, we learned during the Star and Stripe arc that All for One cannot destroy quirks. So how does that work?
I I don't know. Well, didn't isn't decay like tied to Shigaraki's hatred or whatever?
It's just his quirk. Oh, also, okay, sorry, we have to go back a page again. Where's the overhaul vestige in Shigaraki?
Good question. There should be one, right?
Yeah. So okay. Oh my god, this chapter is so fucking bad. So he thinks that the K is gone, even though he's supposed to know what he has in him, but also he can't destroy quirks. So I don't really get what this means.
I don't know. I don't. Well, and like even if it's like, because he says like, oh, decay is gone. Oh, his rage. But even if that were true, like, wouldn't he be rageful at All for One right now? Like,
Yeah,
he'd probably still be pretty mad that this dude ruined his
I'm
entire
imagining
existence, right?
I'm imagining he's suppressing himself, which is like, oh wow, that's like the third time this has happened this arc. That's so unique and cool. Um, and if AFO is falling for it again, he's so smart, guys. Wow, so truly an intellectual villain. Deku's arms are gone. Asterisk.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, Deku's arms are
the
gone.
the biggest asterisk in the world.
I still don't understand how he's taking damage in there because didn't he get hit by a car and he was like, "Oh, thank God it's not the real world. I can't take damage in here." And then he
No,
just starts
no.
getting damaged.
He got hit by the car, and I think Nana was like, "Be careful, you can take damage in here." But like, first of all, why? Second of all, he grabs onto Shaky's hands, and he's like, "As long as I imagine them, they're fine." And then he lost his arms. I don't understand how this works.
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't really care either. We're out of the spirit world, thank God, because it was the most like confusing shit ever. Um, so yeah, Deku's arms are gone. Parentheses, question mark, sort of like asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. Um, and then he gets rescued by Tape Guy, Tail Guy, and Sugar Guy.
Do you
What the
not know their
fuck?
names, Zenrotto?
Don't even try. The
Can
only
you get
reason I
one
know
out of three?
Sero's name is because
Okay.
everyone on Twitter won't stop talking about him. The other two,
Sero,
gun to my head, I
Ojiro,
would
and
die.
Sato, bro.
Okay, sure. I believe you. You could be lying to me right now, and I would
I'm
not know.
not. I swear you can turn the page and Deku says them in the second to last panel of the right page. I'm real, dude. I'm a real MHA fan.
Real, real MHA making the TikToks and everything.
Oh yeah,
Um,
and then Aizawa gets off screened and he's back.
yeah, he's back. I think it's really funny that it shows him walking through, and he's got a prosthetic leg, so he's like walking with it. But the way that he's drawn, his prosthetic leg is almost not visible at all, so it just looks like he's
Yeah.
standing there with his cut off leg. Really funny. Um,
Another reason why I thought this chapter was fake when I first saw it is that the art of this chapter is not Hori's best.
no, it's not. I'm forgiving toward that because
Yeah.
we've seen what Hori's best is, and that man needs to calm down before he dies.
Yeah.
Um,
So like
so
I
I'm
saw some of these panels and I was like, "Oh, this is like that guy on Twitter who draws fake leaks." But then it was real and I was like, "Oh shit, never mind."
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Hey, how did the tail guy, the sugar guy, and the tape guy generate enough force to stop All for One?
Cuz they're different, dude.
Just built different. That's
It's the power
flex
of
tape,
friendship, dude.
clearly.
All right, you ready for 420 now? Are you ready for the best chapter in the series?
Can I get high first before we have to talk about this shit? Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you want to take a quick five?
Yeah,
Get some
yeah,
fucking
please. No, let's. Oh my God, dude.
Hey, let me count this. 2, 3, 4, 5. The Kurogiri thing is resolved in 5 pages.
Is it even resolved though?
I mean, there'll probably be an epilogue thing about it, but like it's done.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna. To be fair, the Kurogiri thing didn't even exist in this series. It got added
Yes.
into the spin-off.
It's crazy that Hori took them out of the manga for like a year. And then he off screened the ending and then was like, "All right, here you go. Fine, dude, here, shut up, fuck." And it's 5 pages. Okay, some of this shit's trash. Oh yeah. Okay. Aizawa comes and he's like, "Deku, how long has it been since you lost your arms?" And he's like, "I don't know."
I have no fucking idea. I was in the dreamscape.
And then, oh my god, dude, why? Why Zenrotto? Why did this happen? Deku couldn't lose his arms for like one chapter.
Yeah, it's the same reason that like, oh, we know he doesn't have one for all anymore or whatever because he put all the
Yeah.
vestiges into him. It's the same reason I'm not convinced that he's going to actually have to deal with any consequence of this, right? Like he'll get something. He'll get it back somehow because that's the kind of series that this is. Um,
They're probably gonna defeat All for One or some shit, and then like the vestiges are still gonna be alive. I mean, they have to be alive, right? Because Danger Sense procced on Shigaraki last chapter.
did it on
Yeah,
Shigaraki AFO?
yeah. So they have to be there
Oh
still.
yeah, it did when he got it.
So
It procced for the tape guy? Are you shitting me?
so AFO is gonna be defeated. Shigaraki is gonna be like, "Here you go, Deku," and he's gonna give him one for all back probably.
Probably. Yeah, that's probably what it's going to be. Um, hey, so let's just cut right to the chase here. Um, why are we hacking body parts off the 3-year-old?
This is like actual character assassination too, which is crazy. So first of all, ectoplasm needs to be shot in the head. Like he needs to be executed tonight.
Yeah, I don't. This is going
Why
to
did
be
he
one of
let
those
this
things
happen?
that I know that MHA fans are going to be like, this was a good idea because it saved the day.
You mean
Kind
everything?
of like how they're all like, oh, Twice and Toga deserve death. Like just shitty opinions based on nothing. No adult should be mutilating a child, right? Like,
Oh, I hate this so much. Like Aries' entire thing being about how like Deku after he unlocked Black Whip and it was like a destructive force was went to her and told her your quirk does not make you a monster, it's how you use it, right? and she had all of this trauma related to her quirk because she was like, I wish I was never born with it. I wish I never had it. Well, congratulations, you don't have it anymore. So like, what was the point of learning to be comfortable with your own quirk and your own? Because quirks are your own individuality, man. Like that's what that means in Japanese. It means kosei. It means individuality. So like, we should cut it off, I guess. Also, what happened to all the stuff about like not killing yourself, like not mutilating yourself and fucking yourself up irreparably to help people? Like you have to
Yeah,
know your
I
own limits. Also, you're 3.
yeah, you're like fucking 3 years old, so you should not have the ability to make this decision, and no adult should allow you to make this decision, right? Like,
Yeah.
hey, I want to stick my head horn
Also,
into Deku's
why
shoulder.
why did it work?
Also, why did it work? Yeah, I don't really understand that either. Um, does this mean that she doesn't have her powers anymore? What's the ramifications of this?
Um, Eraser said it might permanently damage your quirk. So I don't
Okay,
know.
so we don't know, basically. Um, no adult should have a child come up to them and say like, "Hey, I have a pretty cool superpower. I was thinking, what if you just like cut my arm off to give that superpower to another person for like 2 minutes, right?" Because they're even saying like the accumulated energy is nearly useless. So what the fuck are you doing? This isn't like, oh yeah, this could rewind someone like a year. Like we could rewind Deku back to his fucking prime. No, it's just like, remember when we were making fun of Jujutsu Kaisen because Sukuna got the fucking rattle,
Yeah.
and the rattle's only purpose was to stop Higuruma? That was all it did.
Yeah.
That's exactly what this is.
It sucks because I spent years, even to this day, fending for Eri not being a plot device because I don't think she's been used as one. I think she's been a character, and I think at least up until now, Hori has not made her just be, oh, we're gonna fix everything. Because I think even Hori was aware that's kind of weird, and then until he wasn't aware that that's kind of weird because he just did it. Like when you first, like a lot of people have to realize this is not real life. This is a story, right? So that means, oh my god, what also makes it even funnier is that Horikoshi and like most manga authors are working like 3 chapters in advance, right? So Horikoshi was like, I'm gonna take Deku's arms, and then the next chapter that he started working on, he was like, and he's gonna get him back because Deku lost his arms for this purpose. That's for Eri to have this moment. He knowingly wrote to this point. Like
Right, yeah, because I know a
this
lot
was
of
the
people are
end
going
goal.
to be like, well, what's your proposed solution? My proposed solution is if you don't have a good way for Deku to deal with his lost arms, just don't have him lose his arms.
Yeah,
Like, this isn't a series of real events occurring, right? Like
yeah.
he's creating these events. And I'm not saying that Deku losing his arms is inherently like a bad thing. Like, but if you don't have a good resolution to that, just do something else, you know?
It was so funny when 419 came out. Everyone was like, what happened to the steaks merchants? MHA has steaks now." And I was just sitting there like, you guys really think that this is gonna stick?
Uh-huh. Well, it's funny because or we shouldn't talk about it because this references the leaks. Never mind. We'll not talk. We'll talk about it on the
I know
next
what you're
episode.
talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, we'll touch on that in the next one.
Everyone was like, every MHA dick writer on Twitter was like, I thought you guys said there were no stakes. Next chapter, Eri rewinds her arm or his arms, and now everyone's like, MHA is a hopeful story. What do you
Haven't you
think?
ever
Bad
read a
things are gonna
shonen
happen?
before? Oh my God. Yeah, like dude, shut
Kid
up.
named Jujutsu Kaisen. What the fuck? Like,
Yeah, like dude, shut up. It's so stupid.
do you remember when the entire point of the Bakugo death was supposed to teach us that the old gen is supposed to protect the new generation, and then this chapter told you that 3-year-olds should like mutilate themselves.
Yeah, and the thing is, I'm not directly against the concept of like her wanting to help, right?
Yeah,
I think that's fine. Um, like my issue, one, the child like if a child came up to you and was like, "Oh my God, Deku's losing a finger. Cut my finger off and put it on his body." Like you would say no, right?
yeah,
Um, Second, her whole like traumatic past is about being mutilated for her abilities. And I don't
yeah.
I think honestly I think it's intentional by Horikoshi to make it happen again now and be like, but now it's
It
by her
probably it
decision.
it probably is, and it's so ass. It's
It's
unbelievable.
so ass. It's unbelievably ass. Because like I think it's meant to read as like she's conquered that. But like dude, she's 3. Like I'm surprised she can speak, right? Like, and you're trying to tell me that she's processed her traumatic existence because she's never known anything else other than horrible misery until she got saved, and she's just fine now, fine enough for you to be like, yeah, hey, grown man, can you cut my limb off and give it to Deku by sticking it in his shoulder just in case maybe it'll help? In the random circumstance that about 2 minutes of rewind is exactly what we need.
I also want to circle back. Why did it work? Like,
Yeah, I don't really understand why it worked either. I don't. I mean, I don't understand how her power works, so maybe that's just
if
why.
if Aizawa gripped the horn a little too hard, would it have accidentally popped on him? Like, how does this? Is it
Yeah,
like
like
fucking health
what if
potion?
he
Like
like
what?
fell down and it stabbed him in the leg like with your
Yeah,
keys,
like
like if you
what?
fall
What
on
if he
your
was?
keys?
What if he was trying to come through the portal and like he hit a rock and he stumbled a little bit and it like fell on the floor? Would it rewind the dirt? Like, what does it do?
Yeah, why did is this how she rewinded Mirio? Did she have to like headbutt him with the horn and stab him with
No,
it?
because like we saw in the overhaul arc, she just uses it. It just
Yeah, she
she
just like
it
touches
like,
you, right?
as long as she's linked to you. Yeah, I'm pretty like
Yeah, because she
because
was
that was the whole
rewinding
thing.
Deku just by holding on to him.
Yeah, and then Overhaul dropped his big ugly fist on her and Deku, and then because he made contact with her, he rewound back into Overhaul from like the nasty kaiju.
Right. Um,
So
so I
what's going
assumed
on?
Mirio, like, she probably just hugged him, right? Or just like held his hand and he rewound.
Any like literally anything but this, yeah.
So yeah, so why did he have to stab Deku in the shoulder like it was an injection?
I just don't understand why it
Why it didn't
still
rewind
works.
Aizawa the minute he grabbed it?
Yeah, is there like an on switch? Like, is there a button? Like, what? Do you execute code? I don't get it.
Run
Do you have to,
bullshit
do you have
power.exe.
to, do you have to do a combo? Like, what's going on? So my thinking is, so it's a stockpile. So obviously it probably stockpiles in the horn. Does that mean that if Deku stockpiled Fajin into his arm and then cut his arm off, would it have a 100% Fajin stockpiled into it, and then he could punch with
Like
his
if he hit you with his
attached
severed
arm? Like,
arm, would it be really strong?
I don't really get. This is stupid. This is a
It's just
stupid
dumb.
discussion to have.
I also think after having this whole bit about like you can't die until you see her sing because she wants to sing for you, having the page turn be comedic sucks. Why are you turning the
Uh,
page into the angry rapist baby and Kaminari's I fried my brain pose? Why are you doing that?
have, having Aries quote unquote sweet moment, and then page turning into the guy who basically harassed her,
Yeah, who
and
told the
like
3-year-old I can't wait till you're 18?
that does damage to
Uh-huh.
my brain.
Yeah. No. I might hate this series.
The final message of MHA is that the old generation should help the new generation, except kindergartners who should make blood sacrifices to
The
support
old generation should
government
help the
sacrifice.
new generation, except not at all, because everyone coming through these portals is fucking children. And like, who of the old generation can even fight anymore?
Bro,
Hawks has those perks. Aizawa
Aizawa
can't
is like
fight.
missing an eye and a leg and
Yeah,
shit.
he
Like
can't
he's
use his perk anymore, which is why they had to use what's his fuck from the
Monoma.
other class. Yeah. He's missing a leg, so it's not like he can go out and do all his martial arts shit. And even if he could, why would it work here? Um, who even else is an adult? His best genus is like dead or like critically wounded. Edge shot is a
Wait,
worm.
I got it, dude. The edgeworm's gonna come through.
The
Holy
Edgeworm is gonna fly through one of those portals and shoot right through All For One's forehead like a bullet
fucking
and just
killing me.
take him out.
Holy shit.
Like All Might is back to being a cripple because he lost his Iron Man suit.
Fucking edgeworm's gonna come through the portal and start flopping around like a fucking fish out of water. Endeavor is missing an arm and is also burned to a crisp.
Yeah, is Endeavor even conscious?
Not last we saw him, no. He
Didn't he
was
like black out with Dobby's corpse?
yeah. Who else is an adult? I think they're all dead.
Yeah, like they're either dead or unnamed, just random fucking people. Um, I don't know, man. Like Why? Also, why is Momo here? Isn't it
What does
very
she even
important for
do?
her not to be here?
What does she even do? I mean, UA crashed already, so I guess
It just
she's
doesn't
let
matter,
off.
I guess. Yeah. Um, hey, what do any of these characters do? Why is the tentacle guy here? Isn't his power just seeing stuff a lot of different directions?
Sometimes he can have multiple arms and punch with them. Okay.
Well, then again, apparently the tail dude is physically strong enough to do significant damage at this point. So, you know what?
Ojiro
Maybe
might be top 5 in the verse if you deep it.
top. Yeah. Well, after everyone's fucking dead and mutilated, he might be. Um, hey, why are you honestly? Why are you bringing anybody that's not Bakugo or Shoto? Because what are they supposed to do, right? Why are you bringing Kaminari, who's already fried his brain to the point that he's in his aftershock effect, to the battlefield?
The prospect of Ochako taking one stab and being out of the rest of the arc, and Bakugo literally dying and coming back, and then passing out again against All for One, and then coming back again is hysterical to me. That would
I,
be
I
so
think it's
funny.
really funny that his only contribution to this final battle was to get his shit fucking rocked by Shigaraki, right? Like obliterated. Um, he gets rocked so hard that he effectively takes Edgeshot and Best Jeanist out of the fight because they have to focus all their efforts on saving his ass.
I
Then he
still don't
comes
get
back.
why they did that.
I, yeah, I don't know. So then he comes back, right? And he fights All for Baby, the fucking baby version of All for One, which didn't really make a difference because what? Because everyone's like, oh, he stopped him from merging with Shigaraki, but like, what was he gonna do? He pulled up to, was he gonna like pull up Shigaraki, who fucking hates him, and also Deku, who also fucking hates him, and just be like, it's time to merge, child. Like what?
You stopped him from merging with Shigaraki. Oh wait,
Oh
he did
wait,
it.
he did it anyway, and apparently he could have the whole time, because he was
Yeah,
like, oh, I just had a backup in here.
yeah. Apparently this was his backup. This should have been the plan, dude. Like what the
Yeah,
fuck?
this should have just been the plan.
The plan should have been to use your old body and Shigaraki's body to wear down the heroes so much that when you finally merge, they can't do anything to stop.
And then like people are saying, oh, he wanted to wait for Shigaraki to do it so Shigaraki could take one for all because he couldn't for some reason.
That's
But
true. That is true.
if that's true, why was he rushing to take Shigaraki's body at the battlefield before he had one for all?
That's a good question.
Because he
Maybe he
wouldn't have
wanted
been
to
able.
help beat.
It's so fucking stupid. It's all so stupid.
Maybe he wanted to help beat Deku. However, what is funny is that Shigaraki himself also acknowledged that if Deku wanted to, he could have killed him with one hit.
I
So
just
like,
don't.
I think if AFO rocked up, I think Deku would have fucking
Just
destroyed him.
obliterated his ass immediately, right?
Yeah.
So
A lot of people.
what did Bakugo accomplish here?
He got top 1 on the poll.
All right, we should move on because we started this segment 14 minutes into the episode and it's been an hour.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we're at 58 minutes.
Holy fuck. I want to make another comment though. I'm not done yet.
Okay, go ahead.
We're doing everyone versus all for one for like the 8th time in this manga. How
Next
many
chapter is
times?
totally gonna have a giant group shot. I'm sure a giant like
How
everyone's
long can
on the
this go
battlefield
on?
shot. I don't know. Um, I don't care either because it's stupid and like I've checked out completely. Um, do you think we're gonna get like the end of this is gonna be like a fighting game super, like a team super, where everyone gets a panel of hitting him? You know the panel that was the dumbest panel in the series prior to these two chapters,
What's
where
up?
they were like it was all class 1A and they had like their trying to look vicious game faces on.
Yeah.
Do you think it's gonna be that again, but it's gonna be each of them hitting him, and then it's gonna end with one big punch from Deku?
I think they're all gonna get their turns hitting him to like buy time for Deku, because I think Deku is still gonna try and reach Shigaraki inside of him. So I think that like AFO is gonna be trying to do crazy shit, and then Kaminari is gonna be like, "I'm stupid," and then do like a really big lightning bolt, and then
Yeah, like it's like why is Kaminari there? He's already useless. He's hit the point where he's fried his own brain. What adult
bro,
allowed him onto the battlefield?
if I were Deku and I turned back and I saw Kaminari come through the portal, I'd be like, "We're fucked. It's over." Like it's
Not just Kaminari, but Kaminari already doing the I have severe brain damage thing.
Deku turning around, seeing brain damaged Kaminari, Koda, and Shoji coming through the portal. It's over.
No,
We're
dude,
dead.
look at this fucking portal. It's the one portal right behind him. The most important portal is brain damage Kaminari, the fucking tentacle guy, Momo, and the brutalized baby with sticky grape head.
Brutalized sexual deviant predator.
Yeah, like what's supposed to happen?
I would turn around and be like, maybe we can't win. Like maybe it's over. Honestly, I could go on a whole other tangent, but I'm not going to because we still have to talk about JJK, and that's probably gonna take like another 30 minutes.
Maybe at some point we need to have just like an MHA series retrospective video where we talk because clearly there's a lot to say. But yeah, let's move on to Jujutsu Kaisen 1 hour into the episode.
It was alright.
It was fine. Yeah, it
um,
was.
chapter 256. Can we mention that John Wary might be a terrorist?
Dude, I don't know how he still has a job, right? I wish I had a job where I could be consistently proven to be absolutely terrible at it every week and
He
still
had
keep it, right?
he literally had Gojo say, "I can't use Black Flash because of 6 eyes."
Which is the real translation is, oh, the reason you think I could use Black Flash whenever I want
Yeah,
is because I have
yeah,
the 6 eyes. That's why you think that. Let me correct your
yeah.
misconception. What he says here is, do you really need me to explain why I can't use the Black Flash? It's
But he
because
can.
of 6 eyes. Well, you can because we've seen you do it.
You did
And
it.
we
Yeah,
knew
you
you
did
could
it.
do it because when it was introduced as a concept, you were one of the people they said had done it.
You did it this arc, buddy. Like,
Yeah, you did it the last time you were alive. Like, and he then says on the next page that he's done it.
I I've been trying to reach out to Viz translators to ask like how the process works. I tried to find John Wary contact information. For obvious reasons, it doesn't exist. You cannot
Well,
talk to
yeah,
this guy.
because could you imagine if someone could reach out to him?
Yeah, you cannot talk to this guy. Um, he is really hurting the series, though. I think, like, very badly.
Yeah, no, I think so too. They're genuinely terrible. Like
Yeah,
to go from a page turn where he says, I cannot use the Black Flash. I
yeah.
cannot do so. However, I have done so more times than anyone else, even Nanami.
Mhm.
What do you mean? And then his insistence that Sukuna's curse technique is called Malevolent Shrine no matter what, even when he's talking about Megami's curse
Yeah,
technique, not his own.
that is a massive misunderstanding.
Yes, so Malevolent Shrine is the domain, Shrine is the curse technique.
Yes.
He calls both of them Malevolent Shrine, and then he also calls Maharaga Malevolent Shrine sometimes.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, remember that when he said, "Oh,
Yeah,
Malevolent Shrine has fully adapted."
yeah.
Um, I genuinely have no idea how he still has it. I don't know how Viz is okay with that, right? How can you release a chapter every week that's wrong? Because I imagine every single one of these needs to be fixed for the volume releases, right?
Yeah. Hopefully they're fixed.
You'd think. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I haven't read them.
Yeah, I haven't bought a JJK volume in a while, so I don't know if these are still fucked up or not. But like, if these are still fucked up, it's like this is why people stopped wanting to use fan translations. Is because there were so many fundamental misunderstandings like this,
yeah,
and now it's happening in official media.
which is you should not have to turn to the fan translator for an explanation of what was actually said.
And I can sympathize, obviously, to some extent, that these people are probably like under harsh circumstances and working conditions and stuff.
Sure, sure, sure.
But I'll be real. I don't think it's a good enough excuse for some of the shit that he gets wrong. I almost refuse to believe that circumstances can be bad enough that you can write Gojo can't hit a Black Flash at the next page he says he can.
Uh-huh.
That's just either unfamiliarity with the series or ineptitude. Also,
It,
Maki gets Black Flashed again, which is funny.
yes, she gets Black Flashed and gutted again. I mean, I don't even. Part of me doesn't want to harp on it because I don't want to like bully people trying to do
Yeah,
their jobs. But this guy is bad enough that I legitimately think it's okay. Like, this is an unforgivable level of absolutely
it's
terrible.
extremely detrimental to the series' quality and people's enjoyment of the series because the TOs are so bad.
They're atrocious. And it's hard to argue like, oh, I wish we could just all wait for the officials instead of having to have leaks and stuff because the
Yeah.
leaks are better translated than the officials. It's practically so like the Jujutsu Kaisen release cycle is like the leaks, the officials, and then the night of the officials where everyone gathers around the campfire to read all the shitty incorrect translations and talk about what it should have been.
All right, how about the chapter?
It was people
It
getting
was
punched more.
cool.
It was fine.
I like Yuji using blood manipulation. I always think that's cool.
Yeah, that is cool. I also really liked the thing that Chozo did where he got punched and then he like turned his blood into armor
Yeah.
while it was flying out of his body. Pretty cool.
Yuji
Um,
black flashed him. Yippee.
every time,
Now,
so they keep saying like, oh, every time Yuji punches Sukuna, his output goes down. That has
yeah.
become such like an intangible measurement at this point because like 4 pages before that, Maki's like, uh-oh, his output's going up, and I'm like, oh no, his output is Yuji's put his output back. I don't give a shit anymore. Stop talking about it. Like. I don't know, man.
Well, we got the filler out of the way. We can talk about the real chapter now. Um, this might be an issue of me being not very invested in JJK, but the reveal that they're related, one, kind of obvious, and two, I don't really care that much.
It was a theory for a very long time because they literally look the same.
Yes.
Um, that they were related. I think it's really funny that it's like his dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's really funny.
Um, I mean, I guess that's cool, and I guess I like how it can retextualize the twin stuff with Maki and Mai. That's cool, but I don't really care, to be honest with you, that much.
Yeah, I just don't. I think it's funny that his version of Shrine is accompanied by the
That's
snipping sound
very
of
that's
scissors.
very cute. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that a lot.
I like that. Um,
Um, I might have a take that a lot of people wouldn't like right now.
all right, let's hear it.
I have lost interest in Black Flash as a thing.
Wait, say that again.
I have
I
lost interest in Black Flash
Oh yeah, no, stupid
as a thing.
concept. Like neat, irrelevant at this point. Um, everyone can do it whenever they want to at this point. Like Yuji's done it
I
17 times, but it kind of always felt like he could do it when he wanted to.
yeah. So this is not going to go over well with people. I already know this. That's why I never tweeted it. Yuji's power progression, Deku got slaughtered for the same thing, and Yuji like is maybe worse. So you can put down a volume of JJK, and Yuji is a punch kick merchant, and you can pick up the next one, and now he can use reverse curse technique. Now he can use shrine. Now he can use blood manipulation. He is learning cursed energy manipulation. There's something from the next chapter I can't say, but you know what I'm talking about.
Mhm.
He basically has Black Flash on command.
Mhm.
What? The time skip is probably the worst thing that's ever happened to the series, to be frank.
Like so for me, I never felt like he didn't have Black Flash on command because they basically
Yeah.
used it like the Rasengan or whatever. Like it's his finisher, right? It's his fucking finishing technique. And it always has functioned that way. Like when he was fighting Mahito with Toto, you can't tell me it didn't feel like he could Black Flash when he wanted to. I don't believe you if
Yeah.
you tell me that you're always caught off guard when Yuji lands a Black Flash. I think that you're lying. Um, so like him doing it 87 times here is not that exciting. Like I saw people popping off when this chapter got leaked like a week or whatever ago when they were like, "Oh, he broke the record or whatever." Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I always
Black
felt like he could do it whenever
Flash.
he wanted to.
Yeah. Black Flash was super cool. I really liked the
It
concept of it. I
was
think it's a really cool
when it
concept.
first debuted. I thought it was a cool concept.
It's a critical strike that is incredibly hard to hit, and if you hit it, you just like awaken. You just like it's something that fundamentally changes you.
But see, I liked also the original explanation, which was like it gives you a greater understanding of like
Yeah.
cursed energy at its core. Like it
I love that.
it
That's
gives
so
you
cool.
knowledge, right? Like it gives you an innate experience.
I
Whereas
also
now it seems like you hit it and you just like go Super Saiyan, and then
now
you go Super
now it
Saiyan
is
2,
yeah.
and
Now it is just a thing that everyone does.
everyone does it, and it's the excuse for why they can just do stuff still. because it was like, oh,
Yeah.
Gojo can't heal anymore. Oh, he had a black flash, so he can heal now. Oh, Sukuna's output is down. Oh, he hit a black flash. His output's gonna come
Yeah.
back. Oh, we need Yuji to power up. How are we gonna? Oh, he hit a black flash. He's awakened. Like,
I think
because I think that the way they explained it originally, when I think it was Toto who was explaining it, um, and he was like, no matter how talented or skilled you are, there's a fundamental difference between the understanding of a sorcerer who has hit one and who hasn't. There's
yeah.
just something different about them at that point, whether you have or have not done that. Um, and so to me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense that hitting it a bunch of times keeps like powering you up, right? Like at
Yeah.
some point you just have the understanding, right? And
It's yeah.
obviously it's different. It's changed from what it used to be. Um,
I really prefer the old Black Flash. I mean, I always thought it was a little silly that Yuji found out about Black Flash and then 5 seconds later hit it, but whatever. I guess it was a way to introduce it as a thing, so I guess it was cool. But I don't know. Black Flash isn't very interesting. It's just
yeah,
the
I don't
like you
know.
said, it's a convenient way for things to like progress, I guess. Gojo can't heal, he can heal now.
Yeah, it's just
Sukuna
the
can't use his
excuse for
domain,
like,
he can use it now.
but see, that's the shit that annoys me is like,
Yeah.
oh, we're gonna bypass the limitations that we've already said the character has because it's like exciting.
Yeah.
Oh, we thought he couldn't do the thing and now he's doing the thing. But it's always Black Flash that makes that happen. So every time you see a Black Flash, you're like, oh, there's gonna be some bullshit in a minute that
Yeah.
someone's not supposed to be able to do.
Also, I have a question. This isn't necessarily a criticism, this might be a misunderstanding of how JJK works. How come this Black Flash is the one that gave Yuji Shrine, but not
Any of the other
previous
ones?
one? Yeah.
I don't know. Convenience.
Okay.
Because it was
Um,
cool for him to get it in the fight with Sukuna.
I guess so. The only argument I can really think of is that he had to be the effectively 16 finger Sukuna in like Vessel, and then maybe he got it. I don't know.
Hasn't he not hit a Black Flash since then?
I do not recall because he was 15 finger, and then the culling game started. Then he was technically 16 finger, right?
I don't remember. I don't remember.
Because if I recall, I think the explanation it might be in this chapter. Hang on. I think like when the culling game thing happened, Yuji had like a latent finger in him activated, and that's when we went from 15 to 16, right? I think so.
I don't remember his power level at any point. I don't have my scouter.
That's fair. Someone in the comments probably knows.
I'm sure someone will tell us that
Yeah,
actually he's,
he's
uh
25 finger.
18 finger and Sukuna is at 17 finger technically. Or some shit. I don't care. I don't care. I'm
I,
just
I, I might
punch
I
him.
might just be completely forget.
Actually, you know what's really funny is how do you focus shift back to Hikari after this?
We do not care,
Do you
man.
just
Like,
not? Yeah, like how do you make a Hikari chapter that anyone gives a shit about at this point? Do you just not do it?
we truly do not
I
care.
legitimately think you just don't do it. Like you just have either
Please.
Hikari or Aome show up and be like, I beat the other one. Because who fucking cares? Like honestly.
Yeah. Omega lol. Who?
Yeah.
Omega lol. That's literally the.
If
We
they
do
were
not want to
gonna
go
like
back.
actually show more of that fight, it should have happened by now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, who fucking cares? Like, who gives a shit?
Oh yeah, let me interrupt the fight between like the only character I care about, Yuji, to go to fucking Hakari and
To go
Urame.
to
Yeah.
Hakare fighting the sidekick.
How exciting I'm sure that will be. I hope Hakari just shows up and like, yeah, it's over.
Yeah, I
I won.
won.
I'm like,
Anyway,
okay.
what's going on over here?
I think I'd honestly prefer that.
I would too, because I don't want to watch them fight anymore.
I
Why
really
would
don't
I give a
care.
shit about this fight?
Like the one or two times we've cut away, I was like kind of eye rolled. I don't really care.
Yeah, I didn't even care before. And now
No,
we're
yeah.
like
When the
Super
fight
Saiyan
got us,
3 Yuji fighting
yeah.
Sukuna.
When the fight got established, I was like, oh brother, here come the Hakari fans, and then we just never went back really. so I guess that's fine.
Yeah, I can't imagine caring about seeing it again.
Maybe
Even the
he'll
biggest
bar for
Hikari fan can't possibly be like, "Woo, yeah."
maybe he'll bar for bar take Horikoshi writing, and it'll be like the Aizawa thing where like Hikari will show up next chapter at the end of next chapter, and then the chapter after that will be like 5 pages of them fighting, and he wins, and then he like starts walking. He just starts walking.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I can't imagine continuing, right? Like that whole thing. There's no way they do.
I mean, I'm saying all this, but I don't mind the chapters. They're fine, I guess. Whatever.
No, yeah, they're fine. It's just like nothing in them is super offensive other than John Wary, but like it's just kind of boring.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of over it. All
I
right.
miss Yuji and Mahito.
Yeah, me too. The series got worse after Mahito was gone, I think.
Mahito was so good.
Um, all right. Let's get into the top threes because this is gonna be already a beefy one.
Oh
Thanks
yeah,
to
we're doing that stuff. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so first we'll do greens.
Yeah, you liked it. You want to start?
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I don't know. I like the bit about where like obviously they're all super confident in one another.
Yeah.
Um, and I like the one who was like, I don't, why are you complimenting each other? And then I enjoyed the response. There's absolutely nothing wrong with me being nice to her because it's not like it's gonna make me any worse anyway. I'm
Yeah.
still like the best.
Yeah.
Um, and I just thought it was cool when he was talking about how even though he was just being the caddy, like he could physically like feel how much pressure they were all under, and
Yeah.
it's drawn with like the effect that looks like the gravity from the Dragon Ball on their shoulders, you know?
I really liked the work he was putting in before to be the caddy too. It's like one of those like you have to do like when you have to do something soon and like you just fully immerse yourself in that thing so that you don't fuck it
Hmm.
up.
So that you do it
Like
right, yeah.
yeah, that was real. I like that a lot. I also liked how his little like the little celebration they had after their game and then how passionate he was where he was tired but he was like, "Yeah, I'm going to go back anyway, fuck it." I like greens. It's good. Uh shame that it's going to die.
Yeah.
It's just like too on ice
It's
for like it
it's
has a lot
gonna
of things that I like, but it's toast.
it's the subject matter, you know? Like
Yeah.
the Kuroko's basketball guy did a golf manga and even that got canceled after like 60
Mhm.
chapters. Um, there's just no way. I think the art in this is cool too though. I really liked her action shot. Um, the
Yeah.
like the like half spread where it was like all of one page and a bit of another one. Um, I thought that was really cool. I liked the concept of both of them getting pissed when she went for the hit they chose not to do and she made it.
Yeah.
And they both like it wasn't like, oh my God, wow. It was like they look visibly angry.
If
Uh,
you want to win big, you got to take risks, man.
yeah, which I thought was cool. And then I don't know if she hurt herself or not.
That it seems like it, yeah.
It
It
looks
definitely
like
seems
she
like
hurt
it.
herself. Yeah,
Which I do I like this manga. It's nice.
yeah,
Even though
it's cool.
golf sucks, it's stupid.
Yeah, golf is the worst. I fucking hate golf.
Dude, there's like
But
there's an area around me where people play golf. It takes up so much fucking land.
yeah,
It's so
it's an
silly.
absurd amount of land for a silly game for like 12 rich people to play when
I hate
it's a
it.
disgusting like blight on society.
Manga's cool though.
Yeah, but the manga's nice. Um, if you play golf, just play mini golf in like a parking lot. Then you're good. You don't need
True.
180 acres of fucking land.
True as fuck.
Yeah, we're gonna get some
Also,
fucking golf guy in the comments like actually.
if you can afford to play golf, you can afford to be a patron for Shonen Chill, okay?
That's true. Yeah, if you can afford to play golf, why aren't you supporting? Honestly, right?
True.
All right, let's move on to Ruri Dragon.
Yeah, so like I said a few episodes ago, that little beef that they were having with that girl and Ruri, I never thought it was going to be about her being a dragon. I always thought that was an obvious red herring. And there we go. Ruri does like she thinks that Ruri doesn't care about the people, and honestly, I get it. She can't remember what is happening around her. She didn't get the girl's name right even after just being corrected. She always forgets people's names. Like even if she's not doing it on purpose, which I don't think she is, obviously it's still going to annoy the people around her. But also, it doesn't really justify her disposition towards her. she was like fragrantly hostile and refusing to use words even though Ruri was trying to talk about it.
Yeah, like out of the way, being a
Yeah.
shithead about it. Yeah.
Like Ruri has a lot going on in her life right now because she's a walking dragon, but I think it's also fair to be annoyed that she can never take other people into account.
Yeah, it's also an interesting little, like, in manga specifically, because the main character in a manga is kind of always like that, right? Like it's always
Yeah.
about them as to whatever, like whatever else is going on is like whatever.
Yeah.
Um, like Hunter x Hunter does it a lot, where like Gon just does whatever the fuck he wants, even when people tell him
Yeah.
not to do it, and everyone's like, dude, fuck. But then there's no like nothing comes of it. So it's neat to see a main character going through main character stuff, and then someone's like, hey, I'm fucking sick of you.
Yeah.
Like, it was, again, way too hard about it. Way too hard about it, but I did
Yeah, she was
enjoy it.
also an asshole, but
Yeah, like, you know,
I do like where it came from. I thought it was
yeah.
cool. And now Ruri Dragon is in Jump Plus.
Yeah, this was the last chapter in the book,
I think this was the first Jump Plus chapter, if
was it?
I'm correct.
Okay.
I think so, yeah. No noticeable changes. Looks good. It was a good chapter. Probably one of the better ones in a while.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, it was good. Good stuff. Ruri Dragon is good, and I think I'm always gonna like it. Hopefully.
Yeah, I feel like a series like this is hard to fall off. I guess it could. But I feel like when you have a series that's kind of as, lighthearted and mostly slice of life-y like this, and you get a good rhythm going, and it's good in the beginning, and there's like it's hard to fall off, but we'll see. I guess I say that, but like I don't really give a shit about Spy Family anymore. So hopefully it doesn't fall off.
Don't get me started, man.
All right. So the next up is Undead Unluck.
Dude, this shit's crazy.
It's wild.
This
I
is some of
don't
the best shit
fully
in a while.
understand the word game.
I'll be
It's
real. I stopped trying to. I've moved
yeah,
past it.
it's a little beyond me, I think.
I know it's a Krill issue, but so like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
not
it
saying
totally is, but I refuse. I'm not going to sit down and try to decipher it.
exactly, yeah, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it sucks because I don't get it. No, I stopped
No,
trying to understand it because it's getting crazy,
it's
which is
just
fine.
cool. Yeah, I don't need to understand it beyond like it's rad.
God have mercy on the translator for this section.
Yes. As I'm
uh,
sure the translator for what was that Codebreakers one? Cipher Academy,
yeah.
where they were like, "This is the worst thing I've ever done in my whole life." Yeah, I'm sure that's miserable.
um, damn. The popularity poll too. Popularity poll. I was really surprised to see Andy so far back on.
Yeah,
Because to me, this recent stuff has been like, man, where's Andy at? Like, can we get him back?
yeah, I've been kind of feeling the same way. I also think it's kind of unfair that they mashed Julia and Louise together when they're obviously not the same character.
Yeah.
I guess if you didn't do that, Julia would never have labeled anywhere because no one gives a shit about her. They only like Louise. Um, Fang scored super high, which I thought was
Yeah.
weird because I've never been a huge fan of him. It's weird to see him score super high and Shen not score at all.
I'm not super tapped into like the Undead Unluck community, so this is like my first experience with what popular characters are, and I was kind of shocked. I like
Yeah,
to
I
see
mean, I
Fuko
guess
number
it
one.
is a
That's
good
cool.
showing for Andy that he's the only
Yeah.
like non-recruited loop character that's still scoring so
Yeah.
high.
Fuko number one kind of goaded.
Oh yeah, well, very deserved.
Yeah.
One of the better characters in the whole book, let alone in
Yeah.
Undead Unluck.
As for the fight itself, summoning Sol and Luna, that's fucking insane. That's
Yes.
crazy. And then they die. Fang and Ichiko are dead,
Yes.
which I really thought that was not going to happen because I
Well,
thought
they
Undead Unluck
said
was
you're
like,
gonna bring us back to life, so I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah,
we'll
but
see.
like, still, I just didn't think that was going to happen at all.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I didn't
wow,
think they were gonna go through with it. But the last shot of Nico like crazed and
yeah,
crying and like blood coming out of his nose and stuff. Oh,
yeah,
dude, it's so sick.
he was really fucking raw. I think there's probably something really interesting that you can deep with the fact that obviously the entire goal of this new loop was to avoid tragedies, but in this case you needed one to win.
You
That
had to do it, yeah.
you can probably deep something cool from that. Also, Fuko is gonna fucking be destroyed. She has put in so much work to avoid Nico's
Hmm.
tragedy and to keep all these people well. She is going to hear that they're fucking dead, and she's gonna be like, "Well, that's suboptimal."
Yeah, I don't know how she's gonna react. It's not gonna be well.
Yeah,
Um, I don't know, man. It's fucking cool. That's all I really had to say about it. It's
this
cool.
has
I'm
been
glad it's doing cool stuff
this
because it's the coolest it's been in a while.
this is some of the best stuff post loop. I really
Yeah.
like this.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah.
Undead Unluck is back.
Question mark? Yeah. Alive again?
It was
Uh,
never really dead, but it's back.
it was never dead, but yeah, we were never over, but we were like trending down. But now we're back.
Yeah.
All right, it's go to clock. Let's talk about
Oh, the
Kagurabachi.
filler is finally over. Jesus
Yes, the
Christ.
real
Okay.
content is here.
Incredible as always.
As always, dude. Banger. Banger after banger. I really, really hope that little useless guy does something against his brother. I don't think he's going to. Um, he's
Uh,
probably just going to get his shit rocked, and then Chihiro's going to save him, and they're going to have like a bro cool guy moment.
Chihiro making a deal with his very life at the center to put a stop to human trafficking, and then also appealing to Hiyuki by telling her that that she can achieve a total victory if they work together, with his life being given up at the end. Obviously, we know he's not gonna die, but like he's goated, man.
Yeah, he really is. He's so
Like
sick.
how I'm very interested in how that's gonna end because they're gonna win, obviously, and then he has to deal with Hiyuki again, which zoinks.
That
Um,
shot in the last chapter of Chihiro going ahead with Hyuki guarding his back is so sick.
yeah,
It's so cool.
I really fuck with her mentality of like wanting to go and save everything and not wanting to be tied to one or the other. Thought that was
Hmm.
cool. Um, for the most recent chapter, we're dealing with a family that yearns for the acceptance of their father, and you can probably construct something about how this relates to Chihiro as well. I don't know how you would do it yet. I'm gonna let that cook. I, I'm still looking for like the overarching message of this second arc here. I'm sure I'll find it eventually, but that's something I have a pin in. And I'll probably when this arc ends, I kind of want to reread it with a specific focus on Hakuri because I'm still trying to figure out how he fits in all of it as well.
Hmm.
He was running like a coward and then literally backed into a corner, and then he wants to be the kind of guy Chihiro is. That was nice.
Yeah, I like that
Sh-
because
yeah,
his whole goal, like as part of the plan, was to get the strongest one away, because
yeah,
Shiva, who's the coolest fucking dude, holy shit, um, goes in and he's like, well, I'll just beat all of them by myself. It's fine.
yeah,
And I like that the plan is like, I'm the little loser who needs to be protected. Uh-oh,
yeah.
I can't be protected right now. So do I make it worse for my teammates, or do I try to do something?
Time to boss up.
Yeah, do I lock in, or do I, just give up?
Also, the last page,
The tattoo.
the tattoo.
I've seen some people say that they think it's the guy that was helping them at first.
Mm,
I don't remember his name. The guy from the Cloud Gouger arc, um,
I don't recall.
Izumi or something. The dude who's like, I know who Chihiro is, but I won't rat out that he has the sword. I'm on you guys' team.
Oh, is that Azami?
Azami, that's his name. Yeah, I've seen people say they think this is him. Um,
Haven't we seen this kind of ability before? Like really early.
the plant wall.
Yeah. Let me look. Going back to chapter, I don't know if it was chapter one. Might have been after that. I'm flipping through pages as fast as humanly possible. Yes, yes. There's a tree thing in chapter 1 on page 30.
Chapter
It
one,
starts
page.
to grow on page 29.
Oh yeah, and he's like stabbing some dude.
Yes. And those, for the viewers at home, are the bad guys.
Yes, if their evil tattoo did not tell you already.
So he's back, and I'm interested to see how that plays a part.
Also, this dude was able to keep up with Chihiro, still using Cloud Gouger's ability.
Yeah,
So he's
he,
some serious shit.
Chihiro still probably missing an arm with a broken cloud gouger against this dude. I don't know how that's gonna go. I am very excited though.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's a shame that we're gonna be on a Kagurabachi break week. That's gonna be rough.
No peak fiction.
No peak fiction for a whole week.
What a fucked up day, man. Kagurabachi goat. Not if you're not reading, do it. I'm gonna say this every single week until you read it. You
Yeah,
specifically,
we
person
say it
watching.
constantly. If you're not reading it, what's wrong with you? Just like
If you're not reading it, L.
massive L. I don't know, man. I don't know. I need more. Basically, is the gist of this. I need more at all
I'm
times.
I'm very much looking forward to when this second arc ends, so that I can kind of try to piece it all together. Because I'm not sure how everything fits in yet, but I like it still.
Yes, still a banger. All of the, it's got like I don't know. You know how Jujutsu Kaisen just kind of like has that it factor where like just cool shit happens and you're like, damn, that was raw as fuck.
Yeah,
And like Sakamoto Days where it has just like the cool entrances and you're like, damn, that was fucking
yeah.
sick. Kagurabachi has it too, and they do it all the time, and it's so good.
Kagurabachi is so good, man.
It just
Did you
bangs, man.
see?
I don't know.
I haven't watched it yet, but did you see that the author has a video where he speed draws the second volume cover?
No, I have not. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I haven't
Second
watched it
volume
yet. I
cover
want to.
also goes hard.
The second volume cover is so good, man. I did see people clearly agenda posting saying they're willing to say that Kagurabachi already has the best volume covers in Jump, and I'm like, all right, dude, relax.
Chill, chill.
we have
Yeah,
we have two.
chill. There's two. They are cool. We have two. Take it easy.
I get you're excited, man, but you guys gotta
Yeah,
relax sometimes.
yeah. There's limits to this stuff.
They are very good though. Lightning round time.
Yep, we'll jump into the lightning round.
All right, Sakamoto days.
Cool. The old samurai's back. That's pretty fucking rad.
Yeah, shit just got real, huh?
Yeah, shit just got super real. I don't really understand the plan of like, hey, why don't you just become the dominant alternate personality and just be Rion again?
Hey,
Um,
dumbass, you ever think about just take it over?
hey, idiots, have you thought about not?
uh, Blue Box.
Very,
It's good.
very cute.
Yeah, I'm. The sports arc was very much needed, and it was good. I liked it.
Yeah, it was very good. I think the bit at the ending is really cute, where she's really embarrassed, so she steals his mask and puts it on. That was cute.
Yozakura fam, I took a note down before the announcement that says Yozakura endgame time question mark. Well, yes, you were right.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
My Hero Academia gave me precognition PTSD, and this power seems to work exactly like Night Eyes, so perhaps Alpha will save the day with wishing energy.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's hard for me to care about all these characters coming back. Like the old classmate, I don't really care about it, but I'm sure some
Oh,
cool
you know,
action.
yeah. Yozakura family doing a time skip and then ending is like it's like 15 9/11s.
Yeah, what a weird decision, right? To
Yeah.
like do a time skip and then introduce new protagonists and then end. It's interesting.
I hope I just get some Taio content, man.
I mean, he's here now, so
Yeah.
he'll do a little something. I'm not
I,
looking forward to when the final battle ends up being between the dude and the kids, though.
oh, brother.
Yeah, no, I don't really want that. But you know, whatever.
Yozakura fan, what happened to you?
It's really a shame because the Sakura family I used to really, really like. Now I just
Yeah,
kind of am lukewarm on it.
it's okay.
It's fine.
All right, Kill Blue. Yeah,
It's cool that he has his adult body back. I like how they basically kind of because like their way of getting around saying, "Uh-oh, there's someone better than him," is like, well, he can't really control himself right anymore because he's not used to
Yeah.
having his adult proportions anymore. So I thought
I
that was
I
cool.
I do like how he kind of went from being like panicked as a kid, and then he became an adult, and then he was immediately just like nonchalant.
Just totally chill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the
Um.
final line of the most recent chapter was super fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Shadow Eliminators. My note on this one is this is definitely done next. There it goes.
Yeah.
I
See
was right again.
ya.
There it goes. Before 20 chapters is brutal.
It is rough.
Before
Yeah.
a
That
first
that was
volume
like you
is.
must have just not. No one liked it, right?
Yeah. That's. She. Uh. Two on Ice. It's over, and that's sad. It was not my favorite, but I thought it was good.
I thought Two on Ice had a story to tell.
Yeah.
It is a shame to see it
Yeah.
end, but I think it did okay for a series that I had thought the subject matter was never going to make it very far.
Yeah. I liked it. It's sad it's over. What are you gonna do? It was doomed. Chainsaw Man. Very direct commentary about how much bad shit can happen in the world, and yet the news will talk about insignificant things. Sounds very relevant.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
Chainsaw Man ball busting competition. It seems.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of
Yeah.
funny. I thought
Yeah.
that was a good callback.
We didn't talk about Mama Yu Yu last episode, right? Because it hadn't ended yet. It was just announced that it was ending.
Yes.
It's over. What a shame. Uh,
Rip.
very cool premise and start to a protag only to be dragged down into harem bullshit with Corleo tripping over women and abandoning the mother-son relationship that was basically packaged. You were kind of misled. It feels like. Um,
Yeah, I I
the
don't want
final
to shit
chapter.
on Mama Yu Yu too much,
Yeah.
but I don't care about it.
The final chapter ending right before the big final battle. That's brutal. Goes to show you how soon he was told to
Yeah, that it's
finish it.
just we're cutting it off. Yeah.
Yeah. That's sad. It's sad, but also I'm not surprised because
I kind of like ending it that way though, because a
yeah,
lot of series try to rush it. Like
that's yeah, that's true.
you were not on the show at this point, but um Candy Flurry ending
Mhm.
was literally the bad guy just shows up in the middle of a completely unrelated arc and is like, we're fighting now, and they fight. It's crazy. And a lot of series, I think, try to do that because they want to at least feel like they've concluded. I kind of like Mama Yu Yu not giving you that and just being like,
That's
look at what you
fair.
could have had. You know?
That's fair.
I kind of like it.
I respect that. Yeah, it got shot in the back of the head 5 times, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, it got executed.
Yep. I'm not gonna miss it, unfortunately. I feel like I was burned by it. I think that's why I'm kind of so like not charitable to it. I feel like chapter like 1, 2, or 3 promised me so much and then never gave me that ever again. So like now that it's gone, I'm like, oh well, there you go.
Yeah,
That's what happens when
I
you're
don't
like,
really know
hey,
what to think about it.
this manga is about a mother-son relationship. Just kidding, it's a harem. Like, okay, dude.
JK, yeah, it's a. I still feel like that was a desperate pivot, man. It had to
Probably it
be,
didn't
right?
unfortunately didn't
Feels
work.
like it came out of fucking nowhere.
Dude, could you imagine being an author and putting your life into something and then some fucking editorial goes, it's not working, change it now. And then you change it into something that you're probably not a big fan of, and then it doesn't even work. You still get axed.
Yeah, it's gotta suck, right? Because you feel like
Yeah,
you put out what you wanted, nobody liked it. That's
yeah.
mean to say. Enough people didn't like it. Then you pivoted to something else to try to say, just to keep something there, and
Mhm.
still nobody liked it.
That's fucked up, man. But it's over now. We have room for more new manga. Yippee.
Yeah, I guess.
You sound so excited, man.
I mean, they can't all be Kagurabachi, all right?
new manga that we're gonna start go, this isn't very good, and then they're gonna get axed. So
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I can't even refute that. What am I supposed to be like? No, 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 they're gonna show up, flame out, and just.
whatever you want me to read for next week, just let me know, and I'll do it.
Yeah, I guess we should. Let me.
Or sorry, not next week, but you know,
It's the what is it? Astro Boy, Astro
Astro
Royale,
Boy.
and Kyokuto Necroman. That shit looks dead as hell. Just looking at the cover image. Um, but yeah, I guess that too.
All right.
Add those to the list.
Yes, dear.
Congratulations, no existing fans of those things. Um, we're reading those now.
What is it called? Necromancer? What?
Oh God, Kokuto Necro,
I can't even find it. Am I blind?
Kyokuto Necromance. If you look under the latest free chapters, it's pretty close to the beginning.
Oh, there it is. Oh my god, yeah. That's it does not stand out.
No, it sure doesn't. And looking at that image, I'm like, that is on the warning side of things for me. But we'll see.
Yeah. I think about this sometimes. Do you remember when Kagurabachi first got announced? And we were talking about the upcoming manga, and we were like, here comes the manga with the dude, like the little guy. Because that
Yeah,
was his past one shot.
yeah, just the one little man.
We were talking about how it doesn't inspire confidence. He's got a little dude on.
I mean, it's true. Anytime a manga comes out with a little guy on it, it's just a fucking nightmare. Even Hitman Reborn didn't survive a full run without falling into the little guy curse.
He needed the little guy, man.
Yeah, well,
Little
yeah,
guy is
that's
integral.
you want to get serialized, you give yourself a little guy, and then your series ends up dying because the little guy curse.
Can you name one series that's still active that had a little guy at the start?
At the start,
See, I can't say
does
later on because then
Chopper
One Piece
count as a
exists.
little guy?
Is Chopper at the start? I've never read it, so
I mean, he was in the first like arc. He was in the East Blue stuff, but not in the very first chapter.
no. You need if you have a little guy in the first chapter, it's over.
Okay, so first chapter only. Does Sakamoto's kid count?
No, that's just a child. It's not a little guy. It's just a.
Does
Just a.
Pochita count?
You know what? That's
Pochita's
one.
kind of a little guy.
Pochita is the exception.
Yeah, the exception that proves the rule.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the Toto panel where he says we are the exception, except it's Pochita.
Does Megami Fushiguro count? Because that's his only contribution to the story, is just being a little guy.
No, I think he died chapter 1. And this is like the shambling. It's like a Weekend at Bernie's thing, you know. And I think Gege has finally decided to drop any of the pretenses. He's just full dead now.
That's fine with me. I don't need him around anymore. I still see people randomly defend him on Twitter, and I'm like, what's the point? What are you doing that
Literally,
for?
what is the point?
What are you doing that for? Who's that for?
I think that's everything. I think we've talked about everything.
I think we've made
Unless
it.
you want to
Damn,
go circle
almost
back to
2
MHA.
hours. Yeah, unless we wanted to spend the last 20 minutes back on MHA to make it a full 2 hours.
I'll save it for next chapter.
All right. Well, then, thank you everybody for tuning in to that episode of Shonen and Shows. Was a fucking big one. And we'll see you in the next one.